Good morning. So, I've been keeping a written journal for the last, what would we say, 2.5 weeks on my pregnancy, which is crazy. None of you will actually see this video or these videos until I actually announce the pregnancy, so it won't be much of a surprise. But right now, as I'm saying it to you, it's a bit of a surprise, and that's kind of exciting. So I figured, being the fertility expert and all, I would monitor, record, discuss my pregnancy and its progress and all of that in the raw. I just woke up. It is Thursday, January 2nd, 9 o'clock in the morning. Got up about an hour ago. I have this week off, so it's nice and relaxing. And so I've been journaling about some of my symptoms, and most notable of late, I'd say over the last week and change, is some food aversions, including this morning when I opened the fridge. Normally I make eggs every single morning, and the thought of eggs just kind of made me like, whoa. But I know how important they are for me and how much nutrients they give me and the baby. So I figured, okay, well, what would make them seem better? So I was like, okay, if I scramble them. I think it was the idea of the yolk that really grossed me out. So I'm craving a little spicy too. So I had some pickled jalapenos. I cut up one little tiny piece of pickled jalapeno, a couple olives. I put a little hot sauce in there, a little Cholula, and I scrambled the egg. It was fine. I totally was fine. I just ate them. I feel great. I'm going to do some yoga after this. And so it was interesting. I had the aversion, and I think if there was another option, I'm out in Sag Harbor, and that's all I have in the fridge, and I have to eat. So if I had another option, like gluten-free toast with like peanut butter or nut butter, I would have went for that for sure. But I didn't, and so here we are. But what's interesting is that I had the aversion, and I pushed myself through it, and I was fine once I ate them. And I had that sense of nausea, and once I ate, I feel much better. And that's what I'm noticing too, that the nausea really kicks in if I go too long without food, which is something I always tell all of you guys, that if we go more than 2 hours, our blood sugar drops, and morning sickness is really a blood sugar issue more than anything else. So if we just kind of consistently eat and keep protein in our diets, then we should kind of feel better. I am noticing though, like last night at dinner, I wanted pasta, and on the menu they did have gluten-free pasta, so I was able to do that. And I was off of dairy for the last several months, and since I'm pregnant, I'm eating dairy again, cheese in particular, and I want it, and I'm okay with it. It's from good healthy sources, and it doesn't upset my stomach. I was just curious. I just wanted to go off of it and see. I'm still doing almond milk, and I'm still doing 1 cup of organic coffee in the morning, and that seems fine. I am incredibly well. This week seems better, but I've been pretty constipated. I do have myself on a Chinese herbal formula that helps with that, as well as I picked up that stuff called Calm, CALM. It's a magnesium powder, basically, and that worked fast, almost a little too fast. So I'm just going to maybe take that every 3 or 4 days or as needed. But it is something I recommend to women during pregnancy if they're constipated or if they have like muscle spasms, leg cramps, things like that. Other than that, like, sure, I'm getting tired during the day. I feel like my concentration's a little off, like I'm forgetting things. Um, I feel really bloated. My boobs are about 100 times bigger than they've ever been, and I already have big boobs. So the other night I was like, do I need to wear a bra to bed? Because they hurt when I move. And my eczema is flaring up a little bit, and I have some eczema on my nipples, which is really not sexy or comfortable. So not only are my boobs tremendously large right now, they have eczema on them. So that's fun. Um, as I discussed in the journal, which I will write up, but the for sure, like I found out actually about 3 or 4 days before my period was due. So I've known since about, I guess, technically 3.5 weeks pregnant. And so I've known for about 3.5 weeks now. And for sure, like the first 2 weeks, every time I wiped, I was looking at the toilet paper, looking for a spot of blood. I was constantly feeling my boobs to make sure, like, oh, do I feel symptoms? Do I not feel symptoms? I definitely had that, a little bit of fear. Like, is this gonna stick? Am I gonna keep it? Am I gonna miscarry? I think doing what I do for a living, I see so much. So I know, unfortunately, all the things that can go wrong. And I also know all the things that can go right, though. And so I'm trying to maintain my focus on that. But we did have an early ultrasound at about 5.5 weeks or 5 weeks, I guess, just because my gynecologist is amazing and knows that I do this for a living. And she was like, let's just make sure everything looks good. So we saw a good, healthy gestational yolk sac, and that was great. And I go back in a week from today to hear the heartbeat. So we're excited. I mean, we've gotten some preliminary blood work done, just on some genetic testing, and so far so good. Um, it's really interesting. I enjoy alcohol. I enjoy a couple drinks a week, and and even before I found out I was pregnant, it's interesting because that week where I probably had already conceived, I had this aversion. Like and I had been trying to not drink during the week because it was just like the summer, and there was like my birthday and like things like that. It just seemed like every day was a celebration, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna cut out alcohol for a while. So I had already kind of cut back, but what's interesting now looking back was I completely had an aversion to vodka, which is what I usually drink. And I was craving more red wine, which flares up my eczema. So maybe that was what started it. But since I've been pregnant, I mean, like I've had a glass of wine here and there, and I generally think it's safe to have like 1 to 2 drinks max a week, typically red wine or some kind of wine, not hard alcohol. But I have an aversion to it. Like we were out to dinner last week, and I'm still hiding it from quite a few people. So I had ordered a glass of wine, and I literally, and how they serve that little carafe with it. So they poured a little in the glass, and then I had this little carafe. And I had like a couple sips, and I was like, ooh. And then I just passed the carafe over to Ken, and I was like, you drink that, and I'll just gnaw on this for 2 hours, which is so interesting because normally I could easily have 1 to 2 glasses of wine and really enjoy it, and I just don't even have the taste for it. All I really want is hot water and lemon, and I've been adding some fresh ginger to that, a little bit of honey or sugar. The sweetness really seems to settle my stomach, so quite a bit of fresh ginger, quite a bit of lemon, and then like a teaspoon of sugar or honey, and that feels really good on my tum-tum. I've been taking all my supplements. I look at the cod liver oil and I kind of think, but when I take it, I'm fine. And so that's the interesting thing. Like I have the aversion, but I push through it. Like especially like the cod liver oil and the eggs because I know how important they are for me. So I'm making myself have them, and I seem to be doing okay. It's like pushing through that aversion. I've been doing yoga and Pilates. I've kind of been working out more, just getting into like the 5-day week regimen, just because it feels so good, and I really want to be prepared for labor and delivery, and I really want to be in great shape. I will be pregnant this summer, and I plan to be wearing bikinis on the beach and looking awesome in them and rocking my body. So I am committed to that, and we shall see how I look come the summer. Currently, my due date is August 21st, which is pretty exciting and crazy. We had discussed beginning to try in 2015. So we weren't using protection. We weren't not trying. So this did happen in November, right around Thanksgiving. And we're super excited. So now I'm just thinking about, having a healthy pregnancy, eating well throughout it, meditating, manifesting my desires, feeling good, feeling happy, sending so much love and joy to my heart and my uterus, and really just not getting too overwhelmed because it is a big change, and we're ready for it. But, you know, I'm thinking about things like baby nurses and nannies and the cost of those things, and we have to move, and I mean there's a lot, and all of you guys, and when I tell you, and I know how happy everyone will be for me, but I know for some it's going to be challenging if they're not yet pregnant, and that's going to be challenging for me. And you know, I'm excited for this journey, and yeah, excited to share it. And of course, I'm going to document all of this, and of course, put it into a book, because the fertility expert is pregnant at 40, guys, 40, and it was easy. And so far, so good. I mean, obviously, we're super early, and that's why I'm documenting this privately right now. But fertility expert, pregnant, 40. Woohoo! Okay. Stay posted or keep posted. I'm just going to try to video as much as I can, and I'll post them. And then, obviously, at some point in the next 5 or 6 weeks, you guys will be seeing this. Okay. Love you. Happy New Year.